What's up guys, and welcome to another Rocket League analysis video. So in this video we'll be analysing Mox, and I'm not entirely sure what rank he is, but this is a 1v1. So let's get stuck right in. Alright, straight off the bat, a kick-off win, but a crucial mistake with stealing boost. You took the wrong boost that you didn't really need to take, and that ended up causing a few issues. I'll go back so you can have a look. So there was all the boosts on the field at this point in time. You could have taken the mid boost, in which case you could have turned towards the ball, had the ball between you and the enemy net, which would have allowed you a shot. Instead you took the boost that you saw, which was this back boost. In taking this boost you didn't really do anything except put yourself out of position, which wasn't really that big a deal right up until there. And then you got blown up. So you definitely want to take a little bit more time. Let me just turn down sound so that, just to make sure it's not so loud. I don't know if it is, but I want to make sure that it's not. So yeah, that would have been that's sort of piece of advice number one is be a bit more careful with the boost that you do take, so that you're in it for the long run, I suppose. Another thing I want to note is this bump meta shit that's going on right now, with everybody bumping all the time. You have to just work around it. In this position, it looked like you were half hard committing. Like you wanted to go for the ball here, but you also didn't want some wacky thing to happen, so you sort of just stayed on the ground until you sort of flipped into him. And in the process, obviously you didn't do much, but then you really took your time trying to get back here, in which you could have side flipped and kept holding boost. Then you would have touched the ball on your way back and taken it back with you. That's something that you really want to do often, is take the ball back with you in the 1v1 and just start another play with possession after taking boost and stuff. So this here was a good turn, and in the process you went for 50. It wasn't a perfect turn, but you focus less on the large boost and more on the small stuff, which is good. That's what you want to do, and then obviously you got the dunk there, so that was a decent play. I don't know what boost that is, but it sounds almost identical to Gold Rush. I wonder if they did that deliberately. So here, I want to point something out. You had time here. Now you can see that he wasn't going for demo on you, which means he was just going to run away. Because of that, you actually had a little bit of time to try to start a play here, because you had full boost. It was perfectly safe because he was running away. So you definitely could have taken a bit of time there. So you want to spot your openings a little bit more. And unless it's a shot on target, or it's about to be a shot on target, you don't have to rush. You can take your time. Even if they have possession, you can still take your time. Even here, he has possession, but you can still just take your time. In the process, you did take your time, and it turned into a pass. So you were good with that right up until you rushed you were smart with the first touch. You didn't rush this touch. Instead, you rushed this touch, and yeah, that's the opposite of what you want to do. You don't want to rush your touches unless you have to, or unless there's a play that you can make that's around him, the enemy player. So that was a good 50, a decent recovery, and you got a little bit lost there, but that was okay because he didn't actually rush the ball. There you had an opportunity and you just sort of got a little bit rushy, which is fine. You hit the goalpost and then you panicked. So that's a confidence thing. I can't really coach that. That's practice. Play a little bit more, come at the ball with a little bit more confidence, and you'll be just fine. And take more shots in the net. I noticed that there are a lot of openings that you're scared to just rush. Sorry, not rush. You're scared to just lob the ball with a single touch on the target. You want to take those shots. You want to take those opportunities. Even if it's a long shot, you'd be amazed at how many extremely slow balls will go in 1v1. It isn't too difficult to actually score goals, as long as they're on target, obviously. So here, this was a good bit of confidence. You went at the ball with some confidence, and then you waited far enough back that no matter what touch he made, you were gonna still be able to be there. However, then you took your time with a shot, and instead of just side flipping into the ball, you tried to control it and got demoed. You would be able to see that he was coming for a demo. However, even so, like, he probably would have been able to do something with it. So this guy's actually too confident. He's the opposite. He's like a polar opposite sort of type. He's going for balls that he really shouldn't be because of overconfidence, not because of lack of confidence. And then he goes for a demo attempt there. Now, for anyone who says that demo should have worked out, the reason it didn't work out is because you lose forward momentum when you go up onto the ramps or the side wall. So in the we won't talk about that. So in the process of going up those ramps, you will lose a bit of momentum, as well as touching the ball and stuff like that. So chances are it made perfect sense that you wouldn't have gotten demoed unless he came sideways. Then he could have demoed you. So that was just a kickoff goal. Now kickoff goals do happen. There was a problem with this kickoff that you could very clearly see, just on the way you flipped into it. You went front down, and the ball just ramped. So you wanna face your nose directly at the ball and then front flip into it if you're gonna front flip kickoff. That was just a failed kickoff, which happens. Now here you have a shot. You actually had a shot almost that entire time, which is fine. If you do decide to control it, sometimes you won't have enough boost, or you won't feel too confident, or whatever with taking a shot like that, which is fine. But you want to still make a play out of it if you can, without making it a dribble play. You could have, in this position, you can cut it infield and make it start bouncing, and then from there you can take a hook shot going the other way. Basically what you did, but with a better first touch, so that it actually got a little bit of air and a little bit of angle change. So in that position, again, lack of confidence. You had the right idea, but instead of taking the shot, you went up for the ball to take the shot, but then obviously missed. Here, so in this position, you just weren't proactive enough. If you're facing the ball and they're coming towards you, you have to either hard commit or turn around. They will not put the ball onto your car. They will do everything they can to not do that. And especially seeing as we knew he had boost, he actively did his best not to do that. So that's one thing you want to keep in mind as well. You want to either hard commit or not commit at all, and in which case start shadowing, go back to the net and wait, whatever the case is. The enemy having possession isn't as scary as you being out of position. So don't, if you have to pick one over the other, pick position over possession. You can hear him coming from a mile away, trying to demo. Yep, there he goes, trying to demo. I don't know why he just I don't know what he was doing here. Like, okay, so that happened, and the mid boost was right there, and you're right here, and yeah, let's take a look at where he went. Yeah, all the way over there. You had a million years after he screwed up this. Look at how high he went, and then he's like on the steel boost. He had 6 pads. He had, like, from where he landed, he could have gone like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 72 boost he could have taken that he just didn't take. So there's a lesson to learn there. That was a decent kickoff. Now, you should have flipped one more time into that boost, because it wouldn't have put you out of position, and it would have made guaranteed, because he was pretty close to the boost there. If he had a bit of boost himself, he would have made it, and he would have beat you. So you definitely, don't be afraid to just commit a little bit harder for something like boost if you guarantees that you'll get it. That was a good little aerial, a nice little last touch. Can you put it in? Never mind. That's another just situation where confidence was a factor. He tried to go for a bump there for some weird reason. Now, I want to point out something else that, an error of his that you have to make sure you don't make. Now, he tried for a bump here, right? He was very actively aiming for you. The problem is, where was he going to put you? Even if he bumps you, he bumped you straight into the sidewall, which still would have allowed you just to get to the ball as quickly as you would have gotten to anyway. If you were on the sidewall when he made contact, he wouldn't have done anything at all. It would have barely bumped you in any way, shape or form, and it would have just given you momentum. And yeah, you don't want to do that. Just take your time. Don't do what he just did. The bump meta is really not that impressive 80% of the time. It's just because everyone's sort of jumped all over it because the RLCS, not realizing that the RLCS is actually, like, the reason these guys bump is because it's the only way to even think about creating an opening, because you're versing people so talented and so good that no mechanic that you can make actually works against them. So it's something that, a lot of the lower tier players like adapting bumps into a gameplay that is rough to begin with, as opposed to doing everything else in their power first and mastering everything else and then including bumps. Bumps are not a mechanic. They are not a game-winning essential tool. They are an addition to your repertoire of mechanics and decision-making processes and your overall playstyle. They're not the entire playstyle, and they shouldn't be considered it. And yeah, for this season, the RLCS sort of bred this ideology that bumps are a mechanic. Bumps can make your gameplay suddenly more impressive, but it doesn't. It doesn't do anything that can't be done through every single other mechanic that has a higher percentage chance of working. And especially in, things like 1v1, most of the time bumps will pull you out of position, and unless you actually pull the demo off, you're not actually doing anything with that lack of positioning. But anyway, the things that I would recommend working on would be one, confidence. That's just practice, focusing on your confidence. And when your confidence is down, which is going to happen a lot, focus on the simple stuff. I just take long shots, take 50s, slow the ball right down, and just sit behind it until the enemy has to come in to take a 50. Things like that. Don't go for too much stuff that's catch based or dribble based or stuff like that. Just like simple bounce dribbles, simple shots, simple long shots, simple aerials, stuff like that. Shadowing. Definitely incorporate a bit more shadowing into your playstyle, because it'll get you out of these ranks pretty quickly just by shadowing. It's such a simple thing that a lot of people don't do. What would be some other ones? Thirdly, be careful. Try to analyze their enemy's play, and if they look like they're bump focused, then be careful of that. If they look like they're ground dribble focused, then be careful of that too. Focus on shadowing. If they turn really fast to try to challenge everything, then take early shots, etc., etc. There's ways to counter each different attempt at somebody coming at your net. There's ways to push through everything. So don't be afraid to take 30 seconds or a minute to sort of talk to yourself and have dialogue with yourself internally about how the enemy is playing and what you are going to have to do throughout that game to counter that. But apart from that, those would be the three things that I would definitely suggest improving on. That will help you get out of this rank pretty quickly. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope this helps. Keep me in the loop. Let me know how it goes for you. And I will catch everybody in the next analysis video or video that I make. Thank you for watching.